black babies were found with serious injuries, broken bones. Enrico Doctors Hospital says staff found 3 babies with, quote, unexplainable fractures. 26-year-old Erin Strotman is charged with malicious wounding and felony child abuse. My next guest is Dr. Danish Ali from Archpoint Pain Institute. He says these allegations are true. If true, she should have not been allowed to work after she was suspended the first time and they brought her back. First of all, your thoughts on this case and just how horrible it is that a nurse, someone in your profession, would harm a child like that, a newborn.
Yeah, Isaiah, very disturbing news indeed. Our first, the oath that we take is do no harm, right? And so when I hear stories like this is a truly disrupting and really sad, shocking news that I hear from somebody who we would help, or we would hope is helping the child, somebody who's in the NICU where they're sick, they've got other things going on. The last thing you want to worry about is your nurse, somebody who you trust, doing harm to a child. And so I am very saddened to hear this news, and I hope that this person is not able to practice medicine if this is truly, in fact, this person was causing harm to innocent children and babies.
Now, we know she was accused initially by the hospital internally when they said she may have harmed 3 other children, but then a year passed by, she was suspended, a year passed by, and they brought her back. Was that a mistake?
It was, Isaiah. I mean, as long as you have somebody who has potentially caused harm, this should have raised some flags for the hospital. They should have taken more initiatives and perhaps not brought this person back. She was on administrative leave for 1 year. She was paid supposedly around for all this time as well.
Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman was arraigned today in connection to that ongoing investigation into the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit. And our 8 News reporter Victoria Lucas is taking action, getting new information in this case today from the courthouse.
She joins us this evening in Henrico with the latest.
The judge presiding in this case denied reporters access into the courtroom, but Henrico County Commonwealth's attorney Shannon Taylor did confirm Erin Strotman was denied bond. Strotman faces 1 count of felony child neglect and 1 count of felony malicious wounding for an injury to an infant on or about November 10th of 2024.
We will leave no stone unturned.
Henrico County's top prosecutor letting reporters know her office will continue to work very aggressively into the investigation into Henrico Doctors Hospital's neonatal intensive care unit. In less than 2 weeks, 1 woman has been charged and arrested, 26-year-old Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman of Chesterfield County, who was denied bond by a judge Friday afternoon.
While there has been an arrest for 1 person for allegedly inflicting injury on a single victim, I would emphasize this is an ongoing investigation spanning potential offenses committed in both 2023 and 2024.
The ongoing investigation centered around 7 babies in total. The hospital alerting the community online that 4 babies had, quote, unexplainable fractures in 2024, similar to an incident in 2023. Strotman now facing charges for 1 child out of the 7.
We will continue to work on building cases if there is evidence present to build other cases to find if there's additional criminal culpability.
It makes me sick. It truly makes me sick.
Dominique Hackey is one of the 3 families who showed up to court for 3 children involved in the entire investigation. Taylor confirmed Strotman is currently being charged in connection to a child whose family was not in court. Still, Hackey says he had to show up.
Justice for my son. Justice for the other families that were affected, the other people's boys that were affected. Somebody needs to be held accountable, and it looks like that day is here.
8 News learned from 2 other families who wanted to remain anonymous that one of their twins who was being cared for in the NICU passed away. Another said her son suffered 12 fractures.
I feel very blessed with what our situation was, and that it was just a broken leg, because it could have been a lot worse. And my heart goes out to those families, truly.
Taylor confirms Strotman was employed at Henrico Doctors in 2023 and 2024 and is currently no longer. So we're trying to figure out when exactly she was terminated and what her status.
Because then whatever that was done in the dark comes to the light, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to know what was done.
Dominique Hackey, the father of one of the Henrico Doctors' NICU babies found to have broken bones in 2023, concerned that it has taken so long for justice.
I remember her being in the room. She was friendly. She answered questions, but she didn't stay and talk like the other NICU nurses did. She wasn't family like the other NICU nurses were.
He's describing 26-year-old Erin Strotman, the nurse now in jail, charged with felony child neglect and felony malicious wounding, related to a different baby in 2024. Strotman was put on paid administrative leave by the hospital for a year after the 2023 cases of NICU abuse came to light, and then was allowed to return in late 2024. Hackey saying the hospital should be held accountable as well.
Because that shouldn't have happened. If they were suspicious of some person enough to let him go, they shouldn't have brought him back. So that's on them. They failed. Simple.
HCA, the network that oversees Henrico Doctors Hospital, issuing this statement, saying in part it is shocked and saddened by this development in the investigation and that the hospital is focused on continuing to care for its patients. Strotman was just fired from her job on Thursday, Henrico police arresting her that night. Henrico's Commonwealth's attorney Shannon Taylor says the investigation is not over and more charges could come as detectives continue to review NICU video footage.
We will continue to work on building cases if there is evidence present to build other cases to find if there's additional criminal culpability.
Families of some of the young victims from both 2023 and 2024 were present for Strotman's arraignment, seen leaving the courtroom in tears, some hugging each other for comfort.
This woman, her, she's an RN, and she was just arrested for breaking the bones of Black newborns in the NICU. 26-year-old Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman of Virginia was booked on charges of aggravated child abuse and malicious wounding. So at the hospital this occurred at, there would be strings of 3 or 4 babies that would end up with fractures all over them, and nobody could figure out why. In fact, the hospital actually had to shut down its NICU to do this investigation, putting how many newborns in harm's way in doing so. We don't know. I do want to mention that Elizabeth Strotman was previously put on leave per an investigation into her for an entire year. I do want to mention that it was a paid administrative leave, but then the hospital brought her back, and this continued to happen. Thank goodness that some of these parents called CPS to really kick this investigation into high gear. Nurses take an oath not to harm. So how is it possible that these nurses can harm the most innocent of us? Disgusting. Jail. I would say goodnight, my precious, but this story bummed me out, dude. Yuck.
They want her under the jail.
Somebody's got to be held accountable.
This NICU nurse in Virginia accused of the unthinkable, going on a spree, breaking babies' bones on purpose.
I got to do something.
Hospital staff told his dad that one of his twins had a broken leg.
It was pain. That was their first emotion.
And it allegedly happened to over a half dozen babies at the same hospital, all of them with one similar trait.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigate.
It's not the left versus the right. It's what is wrong and what is right. We've got to stand up and fight for our children. The world is paying to be blind, feeding into.
This is sad, y'all. Our newborns ain't even safe no more. This nurse has been charged with breaking newborn African-American babies' bones. Are you serious? How fucked up is this world that we live in? That baby ain't did nothing to nobody at all. That's the most innocent thing on this planet. And for you to do that just because of his or her skin color is crazy. That's crazy for real. We need to do better in this world, and we need to watch who we letting work at these hospitals.
This is the Brownstone Center News Update. I'm Paulette, and here is news and information that you can use. A 26-year-old former nurse, Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman, has been arrested following an investigation in unexplained fractures sustained by infants in the neonatal intensive care unit at Henrico Doctors Hospital in Richmond, Virginia. The hospital reported that in late November and December 2024, 3 babies were found with unexplainable fractures, mirroring incidents involving 4 infants in the summer of 2023. In response, the hospital temporarily halted new admissions to its Nicu and initiated an internal investigation notifying families and relevant authorities. Strotman, who was employed at the hospital during both periods, faces charges of malicious wounding and felony child abuse related to an incident on November 10, 2024. Henrico County Police are reviewing extensive video footage from the NICU and have reopened previously closed cases from 2023 as part of a comprehensive investigation. The arrest has deeply affected families, including Dominique and Tori Hackey, whose son Noah suffered a fractured tibia while in the NICU in September of 2023. Initially, the cause of Noah's injury was undetermined, but a subsequent Child Protective Services investigation concluded it resulted from physical abuse by a hospital employee. The Hackeys, along with other affected families, are now seeking accountability and justice. And in response to those incidents, Henrico Doctors Hospital has implemented enhanced safety measures, including additional staff training, comprehensive examinations of NICU patients, installation of new security systems, and the introduction of live streaming technology to allow parents to monitor their infants remotely. The hospital has expressed shock and sadness over the developments and is cooperating fully with law enforcement and regulatory agencies to ensure the safety and well-being of all of its patients. As the investigation continues, authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. The case has actually prompted a broader discussion on patient safety protocols in neonatal care units, emphasizing the need for vigilance and stringent safeguards to protecting vulnerable infants, vulnerable Black infants. For more news and information that you can use, including lifestyle tips and podcasts, head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com. We'll see you around.
Another day, another crazy story that has absolutely blown me away. And I don't understand why I'm still shocked. Maybe I still have an ounce of faith in humanity, but at this point, what the heck? So y'all heard about the nurse who just got arrested for intentionally breaking the bones of NICU babies, specifically Black ones. And as I dug a little deeper and did some more research, she was placed on administrative leave back in 2023, allowed to come back, and she did the same thing. There are 7 babies that we know of that she harmed, but who knows how many more there are. One in particular was a twin whose femur was snapped. What? I hope those families sue the hospital and everybody involved for every penny that they have, and the hospital is named after all these babies that she hurt. And I hope she never sees the light of day again.
A NICU nurse in Virginia has been arrested after several babies that had been in her care were found with mysterious injuries and bone fractures. Around the end of November 2024, staff members at the Henrico Doctors Hospital NICU in Henrico, Virginia, discovered that 3 babies had unexplained fractures, and this was similar to an incident involving 4 babies back in the summer of 2023. According to Henrico police, the investigation into the injuring of these babies at the hospital initially began when police were made aware of an internal investigation involving the NICU. Over the course of that investigation, detectives identified 26-year-old Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman as a suspect in the case. Strotman, a nurse at the hospital, was put on paid administrative leave for a year after the investigation into the 2023 cases of NICU abuse came to light, and then she was allowed to return in late 2024. But more injuries to more babies happened, and now the former nurse has been charged with malicious wounding, child abuse, and neglect. Police confirm that Strotman's charges stem from the November 2024 investigation, but police say that they are looking into the 2023 cases as well as part of the broader investigation. They say they will be reviewing dozens of videos from inside the NICU and re-examining the cases to determine what happened. The hospital has suspended accepting new NICU babies as they continue the investigation, and Strotman remains in jail. She was arraigned on Friday, and it's not clear when she will be back in court, but she has not yet entered a plea. But hopefully with her in jail, the babies that were harmed in her care will now be safe and no other babies will be hurt.
So that nurse that was harming those black babies in the NICU, breaking their bones, I hope that you get everything that you deserve in jail. That is sick, okay? Like, to have an individual like that working in a hospital is crazy. And we have to have better mental health checks for these people that are working in the hospitals, nurses, doctors, whoever. Because there's no way that the place that you go to for help for your child is the same place where you end up having your child be worse than they were. It's crazy, and it makes me mad because when I see a child, all I want to do is protect. But there's people working in the hospital with a demon in them like that just want to harm you or your child. It's crazy. It's stressful to think about it, and it's just super sad, and something gotta give, something gotta be better. Like, oh my God, I'm stressed.
A nurse in America called Erin Strotman jailed for deliberately breaking the bones of NICU babies. Black, premature babies. Like, what on earth? So in the month of November, literally, I think about 3 to 4 babies who had unexplained injuries, like just broken bones. And this lady was going around deliberately breaking the bones of these babies. Like, what goes through your head to think, oh yeah, let me just go do that? Like, Erin Strotman was actually put on paid administrative leave for 1 year. So the hospital knew something fishy was going on. Obviously, the hospital must have known something was going on. Like, if one of your nurses, you know that this is happening, first of all, you pay her. You put her on paid leave. Second, you take her back to allow her to continue to do these things. Like, I'm just so confused. In the summer, this had also happened. So, like, I think 4 additional babies in the summer. So this is like 8 babies in total. Guys, I'm still so shocked. Like, this woman has shown you her true colours. Why are you bringing this woman back? This woman lacks compassion. This woman lacks empathy. Like, everything that a nurse stands for, this is, like, what nurse would just... It's wild to me that the hospital knows that she is harming these babies, black babies, and just willingly accepted her back. And only now are they doing something about it. A whole year later, they're doing something about it.
It's only day 6. Day 6 of the new year, more bullshit already. I done had enough. Did y'all hear about the 26-year-old nurse that was going around the NICU breaking baby bones? This color baby bones? And she's this color? And then the messed up thing about it is that she did this before in the summer of 2023. When they sent her on leave and then let her come back. So instead of them doing something about it then, they let her come back. Fast forward to 2024 of November. Same thing happened again. 4 to 6 babies. Bones just break out of nowhere. In the NICU, black babies, white nurse. It's giving hate crime. It's giving the R word, but hey, there's no way they let her come back after the first 4 accidents of the baby's bones being broke. And she cared for each one of them. They looked it up and still let her come back to work. Do you know how much hate in your heart you have to want to purposely hurt a baby, a newborn baby? Fracturing and breaking bones is wild.
Listen, we have a nurse who was breaking the bones of black babies in NICU. The way that story triggered me, the way that story has triggered me, how long did it take for y'all to figure that out? How many babies did we lose from her? That's what I want to know. Because I don't believe the stories that we hear are the stories that they want us to hear. But how many babies have we lost because of this woman right here? The way that story triggered me, bro, it is 2025. And y'all want us to believe that things are changing. But we have people that are supposed to be helping people in the hospital that are hurting defenseless babies. Okay, y'all, I'm done. And you know, I know anybody would have felt this kind of way, but I think I'm a little biased because I just got another grandbaby that was in a NICU in November. And the more I think about it, the more it triggers me. And I'm like, how long? How long? Do y'all really know everything that woman then did? And how many more women like her are in there? Oh, Lord. We keep telling y'all. There are medical professionals that are detrimental to black people. And that's why black people, especially older black people, are so animate about doctors because they don't trust them. They don't feel like they have the best interest. And that is the reason why a lot of older black people do not like going to the doctor, because they do not trust them. Oh my God.
She should be shot with shit and left to hang. When they sentence her, they should sentence to the same thing those babies got, some broken bones. Let them heal and break them again while she in jail. This is ridiculous. When is the racism going to stop? Especially on the innocent. Babies, newborns. Man, they should give her the same fucking treatment. Have a great day, YouTube.